Hey everybody! Welcome back to Brain Better. Today, we're going to go over the 6 things not to say to someone depressed. Make sure to watch until the end of the video because mental health concerns are becoming increasingly common, and we want to make sure that all of you are equipped to be those supportive friends or family members for those struggling with depression. Also, if you find this video value-adding, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to provide more values to you through our videos. Now, let's get straight into our topic today, the 6 things not to say to someone depressed. With the rise of mental health issues, notably depression, how can we effectively provide support to those affected by it? How can we be a good friend, family, or companion to them? When someone close to us is suffering from depression, our first instinct is often to offer them advice or words of wisdom, driven by our desire to help them. We want to provide all possible assistance and offer the best piece of advice to help them get out of the state of being depressed. Nevertheless, our intentions may not always be accurately conveyed through the words we choose. And in some cases, our words can actually exacerbate the situation, particularly if we lack an understanding of the complexities of depression and mental illness. Words hold immense power. They have the ability to uplift or bring destruction to people. So, what exactly are the things we should never say to someone going through depression? A disclaimer here before we go into the topic. The purpose of this video is purely educational and is not intended to serve as treatment for any mental health condition. Depression is not a universal condition. What works for one person may not necessarily be effective for another. If you know someone who is struggling with depression, encourage them to seek help from professionals. Alright now, so here are the 6 things not to say to someone depressed. Number 1. Don't think about it. Rumination is a form of perseverative cognition characterized by repetitive thinking or fixation on negative emotions, distress, and the reasons and outcomes associated with them. Rumination is unproductive, unhealthy, and it does not lead to any solutions. The worst of all is that rumination creates a vicious cycle, as not only can it contribute to depression or exacerbate the existing condition, depressed people also have an increased tendency to ruminate. It's important to note that depression cannot be overcome through sheer willpower, and advising someone to stop ruminating may actually trigger them to engage in this behavior even more. According to research, suppression or dismissal of negative thoughts could actually have a counterproductive effect, as it may worsen the level of distress experienced. Also, advising someone with depression not to think about it can come across as offensive because it is sort of like indirectly suggesting that they're choosing to think negative thoughts. However, individuals who experience depression are well aware that they shouldn't be dwelling on negative thoughts, but they find it challenging to break free from this cycle due to the intense distress and overwhelming emotions that they experience. So stop telling someone depressed, don't think about it. Number 2. Just snap out of it or think positive. No one desires to experience the overwhelming sadness and distress that comes with depression. If only it were as simple as just snapping out of it, we would already be living in a depression-free world. Depression can develop due to various reasons, such as hormones, brain chemistry, genes, traumatic events, and etc. And some of these risk factors are completely beyond an individual's control. Once a person is affected by depression, it is not a simple matter of using positive thinking or self-talk to alleviate their low mood. It requires therapy sessions, medication, and lots of attention and care. So telling a depressed person to just snap out of it is like telling a person with a broken leg to walk it off. Just as a broken leg requires medical attention and time to heal, depression also requires treatment and time for recovery. Telling a person with depression to think positively or snap out of it is sort of like suggesting the individual is not putting in enough effort, when in reality, they are already doing their best in most cases. Consequently, these comments may lead the individual to believe that they are helpless and incapable of recovering, making their situation even worse. So rather than suggesting that they should turn off their depression, it is more helpful to acknowledge that they do not possess this ability and offer understanding instead. Number 3, it's all in your head. Depression is a real and legitimate medical condition that can have a significant impact on an individual's life. When someone is told that the pain they're experiencing is all in their head, it undermines the severity of depression as a serious health condition and reduces it to something that can be resolved by simply changing one's thinking habits. It can also come across as offensive because it's practically telling the individual that what they're feeling is not real. They're just imagining it, or even worse, they're just making it up. Downplaying a depressed person's emotions makes them feel as though their emotions are not valid and makes them feel even more lonely in this journey. We do not have to agree with the negative emotions a depressed person is experiencing, but it's important that we validate their emotions by acknowledging their feelings as real and legitimate. Number 4, it could have been worse, or counter blessings. This isn't just applicable to individuals with depression, it actually applies to everyone. For example, imagine you had a difficult day and you confided in a friend about it. If that friend immediately responded by telling you to count your blessings and that things could have been worse, how would it make you feel? Telling a person it could have been worse or you should count your blessings without validating their feelings is as though taking away their rights to feel their emotions. And even worse, it's indirectly condemning them for not being grateful and that they're overreacting. It also creates guilt and shame in them for feeling how they feel. So stop saying such dismissive language. Stop comparing the experience of someone going through depression with other people and use that as a standard for how everyone should feel or react. Number 5, you don't look depressed. Depression can happen to anyone regardless of social class or education level, and that sufferers do not walk around with a visible sign. While some individuals may exhibit physical symptoms due to their depression, such as neglecting personal hygiene or lacking energy, others may appear healthy and fully functional despite struggling with internal pain. In fact, a lot of people going through depression are battling through every day to get up from bed, shower themselves, put on a big smile, and to live as normal as possible. They may be in the midst of therapy, making small little steps every day to get better. They may also be pretending not to look depressed because deep down inside, they are so ashamed of their condition and they are so afraid of how the world would judge them. And this is where the danger comes. The danger of telling a depressed person they don't look depressed is it discourages them from seeking professional help. Another statement that can cause a similar impact is, "You're not depressed, you're just sad." People with depression may already be hesitant to seek help due to social stigma associated with mental illness. Imagine now someone tells them that they don't look depressed or they're actually not depressed, they're just sad. It may reinforce the idea that they should continue hiding their condition or they're doing a good job hiding it, which indirectly discourages them from seeking professional treatment. Just because people going through depression appear normal on the outside, it does not mean that they're not battling mental anguish internally. So instead of making a remark of how they appear, try to spend time understanding how they truly feel on the inside and encourage them to seek professional help. Number 6. You are just looking for attention. We cannot overstate just how inappropriate and judgmental this statement is. This is one of the most judgmental things you could ever say to a depressed person. And there are so many accusations carried in that one simple statement. You are practically telling the depressed person that they are lying. They are fabricating their symptoms to gain sympathy. They are not really depressed. They are just these desperate attention seekers who are simply exaggerating their condition. They are manipulative, and the list could go on. When someone tells you they are depressed, whether they look like it or not, or whether it looks like they are lying or not, believe them, because you never know what a person is experiencing on the inside. Always approach the situation with sensitivity and empathy. Don't take any chances. Now that we've covered all 6 things not to say to someone depressed, check out this playlist of our videos that cover other topics related to psychology. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on all these value-packed videos on communication, relationships, mindset, and so much more. See you in the next video. Bye!